Hey, 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 it's my third episode. What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Soleil City Podcast. Listen, last week it got kind of heated because I'm going to tell you right now, I had a couple people texting me about that dating who topic, and we had our special guest, Chris, in the building. So like I said, for all those comments, all those questions that people may have had after, send them in to soleilcity08@gmail, and we can always invite him back so you guys can say whatever you want. If you agree, disagree, all I know is that bitch was fire. Okay? So we're going to move on, and this is episode 3, like I said, and this topic is called We Switching Roles Now? Yeah, everybody, I just want to let you know, actually, before we get into that episode of We Switching Roles Now, so everybody been talking about, oh, you sound like so professional, you sound like a radio host, you sound like, fuck it. They said I sound like a sex operator, you guys. And I really just want to say this is me. 24/7, I might put on my professional tone, but as far as my mindset and my attitude, that's never going to change. So tune in if you want and don't tune in. So it is what it is. But another thing that I want to address is the listener's name. So a lot of people voted, a couple people missed the voting period, and they were like, oh my God, no, like, why didn't you have these names? Or, well, you know what? All right. So here's what I'm going to do, because this is my show and I control my show. I decided instead of celebrities, you guys are just going to be my besties, because you're going to get to know more about me. I'm going to get to know about you as the questions come in, as I have more guests on my show, and so forth, so on. So besties it is. Don't call my line about none of it, because it is what it is and it's sticking. Besties. So like I said, once again, this segment is called We Switching Roles Now? Now, in this segment, we're just going to keep it a stack. Like, what's going on with the generation of guys? Like, they've been getting butthurt about every little thing. You know what it is, guys. They bitch niggas, okay? That's what it is. And ladies, I'm going to get on y'all asses too. And this is even for me, coming from a female. What happened to our femininity? You know, caring about how we look, taking care of home, how we nurture situations, whether it's a baby or being there for someone. You know, we have like that fuck it mentality, you know? And honestly, like growing up, I realized how that even been instilled in me. But at the same time, I'm a girl who take care of home now. I take care of my kids, but that doesn't always mean like when it comes to disagreeable situations that I'm always the best person, because I'm probably going to be the first to be like, okay, well, fuck you. This topic is going to be hot, for real, because as this comes into everybody, some females might be like, well, you sticking up for the guys. Well, bitch, it is what it is. And for the men, it is what it is. I said what I said. But I got some definitions for you guys, because we kind of really need the definition to remember where we at. You know what I'm saying? Like, robot on that ass. Now, let's get to it. Femininity. It's a quality of acting in a typically womanly, girlish, or feminine way. Different cultures have different ideas of what femininity looks like. It's a gentle, sweet-natured person. Your grandmother may praise your femininity. Now, masculinity. Social expectations of being a man. The term masculinity refers to the roles, behaviors, and attributes that are considered appropriate for boys and men in given society. Masculinity did I say that right? Masculinity is constructed and defined socially, historically, and politically, rather than being biologically driven. I also found this other definition that I really fucking love, guys. Masculinity, a man who is truly masculine, embraces responsibility and loves, honors, protects, and provides for his family and loved ones. He lives with integrity, motivated by conviction, not comfort or convenience. True masculinity is not determined by how much physical strength a man has, but rather the strength of his character. Can I get a finger snap? Okay, period. I love that, because most guys nowadays, I'm gonna just give it to y'all like this. I was on Instagram. You know, Shade Room got that tea, and sometimes they come with some real news. So, not saying none of y'all on Shade Room is fake, but then again. So they had an article. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. This shit pissed me off. This so-called guy friend was playing basketball with his homegirl. I'm doing the air quotes for y'all. She beat him in basketball, and he kills her, shoots her to death. I'm sorry. Did she kill somebody of yours? It's like, I don't know. I guess his pride, his ego, something like got affected for you to kill somebody in a game of basketball. It's not like it was a love and basketball scenario where, you know, she was close to winning and he actually won and he was like, double or nothing. This motherfucker really killed this girl. Is you butthurt or what? Like, you're supposed to protect. And for her to be calling you her friend, you're supposed to protect your friend as a man. Even if she ain't your girl, you're supposed to protect your friend. Especially her being a female. These guys have these street smarts, and certain places that they know not to go to at a certain time, especially if they're around a female. They can tell you like, nah, we need to leave this place now. It's gonna get hot. I'm trying to protect you. This, that, even just as my friend. But you gonna kill me over a game of basketball? Damn, had I had known, my nigga, you could have had it. Cause my life is now gone because of this shit. Man, like I said, that's just one scenario. We got so many scenarios. I'm gonna just keep it real with you guys. I was in a situation where a man, he used to put his hands on me. Now, what makes y'all feel comfortable doing shit like that? Like, you can't beat a nigga ass? If you were to go fight a man stronger than you, or he may be bigger than you, he could be the same size as you. Are y'all afraid to put y'all hands on men? What makes you turn around and hit a female? Now, I'm not gonna hold you. There are females that tend to put their hands on a nigga now. Don't do that, especially when he's being respectful. Don't go swinging. Shit, go crumble a piece of paper and throw it on the floor. But don't put your hands on a man, and vice versa. Men should never be hitting women because they have a certain amount of strength that us women just do not carry. And it's like, what possesses y'all to do this? Is it something in your mind that makes you feel so great that this shows your strength? Well, bitch nigga, I'm just gonna tell you, it makes you look like a real pussy. I mean, did anybody see that video with Academics? Can't stand that man. He was there yelling up in this girl's face, whatever the situation may have been. But I've been hearing so much about Academics always attacking females, but picking up for these men. Nigga, at this point, to me, you getting your ass ate and fucked. I don't care. I said what I said, because ain't no way. Even given the situation, the lady was just trying to back up her face and stuff while he was like, yeah, I run you. I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. So you got to remind yourself of who you are. Let me tell you something. A man knows he's a man. He doesn't need any type of validation to say he's a man. You go in the bathroom all the time. You know you got a penis. And I mean, I know it's not just the physicality of it, but it's the fact that who's the man? Who's the man? I'm trying to figure out if you are the man, because why do you need me to tell you the man, and why is you all up in my motherfucking face? Listen, I gotta take a break. Because I'm gonna get more into these topics, and you just gonna keep hearing my opinion. And listen, ladies, don't think I'm not gonna get on our asses. And I'm saying ours because I keep it G with myself when I know I'm fucking up and I'm acting like I'm a masculine person, or, you know, a woman that's in nigger mode pretty much. So we just gonna relearn what femininity is, and you don't have to live in femininity only when you're in a relationship. You should learn how to practice that shit right away, especially if you see yourself going down a line of, bullshit, So this is a message for all ladies. I can't really speak too much on the men, just my experience of what I've been seeing. But yeah, like I said, we got women in nigga mode and we got some bitch made niggas. That material is thick, niggas. But we'll be right back at Soleil City Podcast for We Switching Roles Now. See y'all soon.
You are now listening to Futuristic Beats.
This and this. Oh, and that.
He said you want it, you got it. Don't worry about them prices, getting commas off that work. So I'm grabbing Gucci and Prada. That's my nigga dough. That's my nigga dough. That's my nigga dough. That's my nigga dough. He said you want it, go get it. God as my witness, throwing paper off my back like a Magic City stripper. That's my nigga dough. That's my nigga dough. That's my nigga dough. That's my nigga dough.
All right, everybody. So we're back to Soleil City Podcast. And like I said, hot topics, no politics. Okay. And that song that you just heard is from your girl Soleil. Yeah. That's my song, my nigga, that I released. What was that? That was like 2018. I still love that song. It was my first, time, I really went in the studio. But anyway, we could talk about that another time. So back into the topic of We Switching Roles Now. I know you guys seen the cover that I made. Yes, I made it. Call me. But I just wanted to hit back on something as I was just reading. And this was the ending of the definition, because I could understand. So it says masculinity is constructed and defined socially, historically, and politically rather than being biologically driven. Now, a lot of people say guys gain a certain nature through society or, watching their peers around them. So not necessarily in the biological sense that, his dad had a violent streak of blood in him, so he got that same blood. No, some of these guys have watched, their moms or some family member being abused. So they've grown up with the nature of thinking that that's okay to put their hands on women. And there's some men who actually know for a fact that they're supposed to protect these women. They would never want to do that to someone they say they love, and knowing that the woman is, not as strong as the man. So I could definitely understand how, little boys see certain things growing up in the home and it just becomes not okay. They have to, the problem is nowadays is that society just makes it for a Black man to feel discomforted in going into therapy. Listen, let me tell you something. You're not weak. You're not a pussy. You're not feminine if you seek therapy for, the fact of any traumatic experience as a young boy. You know what I'm saying? Or a young man. There's nothing wrong with that, because guys are they're told not to show their emotions. Like, oh, you a man, you ain't no pussy, you ain't supposed to cry, this, that. Listen, for one, I do not think it's weak for a man to cry. Now that depends, I'm just gonna say. Because if a man comes to me, a man, air quotes again, and he's like, oh my God, my shirt got bleached, I'm so pissed, man, what the hell, yeah, no. That's just me. But if a man is crying because somebody passed away, he could be kind of stressed out, because he's allowed to be stressed out. But just that, I don't know, it gives I won't say bitch quality, but that feminine nature where he's just at that point complaining to me, oh my God, my shirt, you could get another one. I'll buy you another one. It's okay. But, versus a woman who's keeping up her looks, she's more so, she has to look good for her man. She's living in her femininity. She's like, oh my God, no, my shirt that I wanted to wear for Trent, it's ruined. Oh my God, my makeup, it's ruined. Yeah, if you could clearly hear the difference, you guys know what I'm saying. But, masculinity, you can be around guys who live in their masculinity, and you might, you never really had that around you. You know what I'm saying? You may not have had an active dad. But it's just nowadays, and I'm sure for a lot of women can say it, it's the fact that women have come into this role where they're doing so much on their own, or they're doing what the man can do. Now, one thing I can say I definitely kind of don't agree with is these women who know where they coming from, know how they grew up, with no money in the home, but then, they get a sort of fame, and, they getting 1 million followers, they starting to get money, everything's moving. And this guy that's living in his masculinity, he's a man, he protects her, you know what I'm saying? He may not provide for her as much as she can provide for herself, but he's protecting and he's providing in the ways that he can, until he can say, well, not that he's surpassing her, but he's at a level to where he can say, well, babe, I made 2 million. I know you had 1 million. Keep your 1 million. Keep building it if you want to. But I got this 2 million. I'm going to use it on whatever you want so we can keep building this money and bringing it in home. We have women now that are just yeah, he don't make enough money. Yeah, what is he going to do to support me? I'm still going to be supporting myself. I understand that because, you're like, what can he really do? I have 1 million. I could pay for somebody to be my bodyguard or my security guard, whatever the case is. Understandable. But when you have a lot of bitch niggas in this world and you're still the female that's out there like, when am I going to get a man? And that man did come around, but because he didn't have more money than you, you're just like, no. And he protects the hell out of somebody, you know what I'm saying? And he also he knows his responsibilities as a man. I don't know. I'm just like, on the fence with that, because I would rather give the man who is protecting and still in ways providing for his family, regardless of what's in my pockets, a chance. Because just imagine that I do get with someone that has $3 billion, $4 billion, and he's doing all kinds of things underneath to me that the surface can't see because he's paying for it to be hidden. Or, he can still provide, but is he protecting me at that point? He could be putting his hands on me, and saying, yeah, you weak ass bitch, I make more money than you and I'ma always do this shit, and talking down on me, that to me is a bitch nigga, regardless of your pockets. I would rather take the man that has no money and knows how to live in his masculinity than the man with the money and is a bitch nigga. That's just me. I don't know what other people think, but at the same time, we do have women with traumatic experience that's like, I would never get with this kind of guy again. Well, also remember, females, there are guys out there that has bread beating the shit out of women. So at that point, it's for you to know how to live in your femininity and how you want to be treated. It's not always about the money, okay? And I feel like the responsibilities, because the man is supposed to worry in that time about the money, because he's going out protecting and providing for his home or his loved ones. So his mindset really does have to be on the money. How am I going to take this home, or what am I bringing home to my family to say we're secured? And a man he's living in his integrity, and he's motivated by conviction, not comfort. Comfort is what I'm going to say again. I feel like, a man should never be comfortable if his woman or his children are in an uncomfortable situation. It's up to that man at that point to take them out of that situation by still protecting and providing. But he also knows I'm providing more for my family to get them out of that uncomfortable situation, because I can't be comfortable knowing that my loved ones are not comfortable. And like I said, true masculinity is not determined by how much physical strength a man has. So all you guys that are just like, yeah, I'm the nigga because I'm strong. Sit your ass down. You full of shit. Go sit on the toilet and shit that shit out. Cause shut the fuck up. Okay. I don't know what y'all be on. Like, y'all really need to start picking up these dictionaries or go talk to somebody, because it's okay to kind of get a little bit lost. But when you're lost and you're just okay with it, and you're just like, well, I'm gonna be lost, you could say whatever, and you just have this ego and pride about you that nobody can tell you nothing because you the man. Once again, y'all got me hype on this topic, but bitch nigga, sit the fuck down. And that's what makes women look at guys and just be like, fuck you. Like, ugh. Like, at that point in time, we living in our roles where we just become masculine, because now we trying to match this energy, because to us, it comes off as feminine. And it's like subconsciously, in a way, we do take over the role of being the man that you aren't being. You're portraying to be a bitch nigga. But like I said, we got our females too that are just, they're growing up. And I feel like, society has something to do with it as well. But women like looking at the hype of things. Now, don't get me wrong. There are women that don't even care about the hype. But there's women that's like, I got to get this Gucci bag and I could get it myself. I don't need no nigga. I don't need this from a nigga. So at what point do you want this man to look at you? You got the women who are like, please, he can't afford me. Oh, okay. Like, what is it about you that he can't afford? let's take the money aspect out of it. Like, okay, you may have the money, but what is it that he can't afford? Like, he can't afford your time. Because as women, we tend to engage and we love time. We love time spent. Because when we are the nurturers, we love time with our kids. We love time with our, our partner that we're, being sexual with. And we want these things, marriage, all that. The big wedding maybe, or the private wedding on a magical beach, and vacations and all that stuff. But what is it that he can't afford? I just want to know, like, he can't afford your time, but what makes it to why he can't afford your time, but yet you're still the same one saying, oh, I still haven't found the right one, or I still haven't found that right man. Have you given that man time? Have you, these men that we say come off as corny or dorky? Let me tell you, in this world nowadays, I'd rather go for the dorky ass nigga because... I mean, hey, I've seen so many things switch from the time that I used to hang out with my brother till now. It's so different. Like, I used to hang around with my brother and his guys, and they, they were having fun, but they were very respectable to women. It's like nowadays, it's like, what the hell? But I want to jump right into this to let women know what femininity, like, what are the traits of being feminine? For one, you are nurturing and compassionate. You're affectionate. Your intuition is your guide. Let me tell y'all. Guys, do not play with a woman's intuition. I'm just going to leave it on that note, because a woman's intuition will catch y'all ass in some shit. But if you a man, you won't be caught in no shit. Okay? We're just going to leave it there. You are magnetic. You are attractive. You are warm and welcoming. You are sensual. You take good care of yourself. Listen, self-care is a plus for me right now. I'm doing all of that. It's easy for you to express love. A lot of us women, and I'm speaking for myself, it's hard for me to do that nowadays. Like, I love. Like, I love love. But sometimes I be the one that be sitting back sometimes like the dude. Like, don't get me wrong. I take care of home. I cook, I clean. But it's also about the appreciativeness, is that a word? From, my spouse seeing the things that I do, especially after having a kid. Oh, we're gonna talk about that in another episode when it comes to postpartum and still taking care of home and the kids. Yeah. But guys should also be there and help for that as well if he's a protector and provider, because some of us go through some traumatic experiences when it comes to that. But blah, 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 blah. Anyway, back to what I was saying. You are creative. You are in touch with your feelings. You are receptive. A man loves a woman who can listen. And I do believe men are simple creatures. Sometimes they don't give back what we expect them to because they're so simple. It's like things they just cut out. Like, we could talk to our girl for an hour about some drama shit, but the guy kind of, if he's a man, he's going to tune that out. He's just like, he's not engaging. You're not expecting your man to turn around. You're like, oh, what up, baby? And you'd be like, babe, just imagine how Becky did this and that. And he like, oh my God, Becky did that? You're probably going to bug the fuck out. Like, where did his voice go? But let's see. You are comfortable with your inner darkness. You are comfortable with cycles and changes. We can already say that just by nature in itself, we get periods. So, you see vulnerability as a strength. Ooh, that is a good one. Vulnerability as a strength. Any woman feels like she's weak for being vulnerable as a woman and in her femininity, we might have to sit and talk about that one. You take full responsibility for your life. Now I know I me personally, I'm honest with myself. Like I said to you guys, this is not just a message for women. This is a message for myself being in that category of women who get into that nigga mode. Relationships are the most important for you. You create harmonious spaces, very much needed. You are not afraid to destroy what's out of alignment. Raising my hand because I've done it. When there's certain things like my past situations that's made me be in nigga mode, but I also have to remember, now that I have this man, I can't keep doing that. Like, I want to live in my femininity. I'm no longer getting hands put on me. So why am I treating him as such like I had in my past? So I'm not afraid to destroy what's out of alignment to show my man that I want to be in that femininity. So it's not always the guy who has to make the woman feminine. We are already feminine. We grew up feminine. You are always in the present moment. Let go of the past. You are authentic. Oh, bitch. Original. You are elegant and graceful. You are playful with life. You have a feminine essence. You have a sisterhood. Listen. Have your sisters, okay? Don't have the sisters who's always like, when you go to her, be like, girl, like, John did this. And she like, well, bitch, fuck him at the first sight. Yeah, no. People tell you you are motherly. I get that a lot. I love it because I love my daughter. And you see femininity as your strength. So just like you see vulnerability as a strength, ladies, come on now. And if you need to hear that again, you can always press the rewind button. But we will be right back to this episode of Soleil City Podcast. We switching roles now. I'm just trying to give y'all some guidance, okay? Like I said, that guidance is for my ass too. So don't trip. We'll be right back.
I don't gotta say a word. He know what time it be. He throw it in the bag. Give me everything I need. I never gotta ask. You know what bitch me mad. Steady hating. Concentrate on what I got. You wish you had. But I stay patient. Really loyal is the game. I stay up looking down. I swear I put y'all all to shame. Who knew to come up with hit heights? You really gonna blame? I put in work, no overtime. Y'all still just look the same. He took me off the class, said, baby, build your name. Throw my worries out, you got this in the bank. Now every day I wake up, I gotta charge it to the game. To the game. He took me off the class, said, baby, build your name. Throw my worries out, you got this in the bank. Now every day I wake up, I gotta charge it to the game. To the game. He said you want it, you got it. Don't worry about them prices, getting commas off that work. So I'm grabbing Gucci and Prada, that's my nigga though. That's my nigga though.
All right, besties. So we're back. And a question came in from a listener. And they asked me, how do I feel about alpha males? Listen, I love me an alpha male, okay? Anything that pushes me into my femininity, I'm all for it. Because at the end of the day, the alpha male is a man who's, he's intelligent, he's confident, he's successful, he's a great leader. And they like to be in a position of, power or having, high levels of responsibility. So for me, like, being an alpha male doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's all about what the man considers to be an alpha male. And I mean, that's the true definition. He leads. They aren't controlling, you know what I'm saying? But a guy who's open to telling me, like, his wants and things like that, that's all it is. As far as what I see here, the alpha male, they don't wait for a potential mate to approach them. You know what I'm saying? They go after what they think or they consider is the right woman for them. So, I mean, that's my take on that. I love an alpha male. I'm always willing to learn from a guy. Like, I'm a sapiosexual. If you guys don't know what that is, it's like, someone who loves intelligence. So teach me, Mr. Man. So another listener asked, do you think the marriage tradition of our parents and grandparents should still be applied today? Why or why not? So I had to get, them to explain, elaborate more on what they're asking. So they pretty much said, the traditional woman stays at home and the man works. It's a lot of men saying we need to get back to that. Listen, if you're being my provider, you're taking over my bills and everything like that, I can still, control what I need to. Like, okay, say, for instance, my car payment. That's, I came into the relationship with my car, but I'm still paying on my car. Then my man decides, hey, I'm going to take over paying your car payment. As long as that's still considered my vehicle or our vehicle at that, then by any means, I'm saying, I just don't want it to get to a point where it's controlling, like, oh, I'm paying this is no longer your shit. Then for all of that, I could have just stayed and paid my stuff myself. But as far as for the traditional role, if I'm supposed to be the nurturer, taking care of the kids, it makes the load easier. But one thing and two things for sure about me, I like to dibble and dabble into my talent. So even if I do have to be the one being home taking care of the kids, I still want to have an outlet. Like, for instance, just like my podcast, if my man was out there taking care of everything and I was able to still have my podcast and it did earn a little income, so be it. Even if it didn't, home is taken care of because my alpha male is out there doing his thing to protect and provide for his family. So, I mean, for me personally, I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? It's a stressor when a woman has to take on bills, kids, work, but that's what we have a lot of in this world. Like, and it's not anyone's, sometimes it can be the woman's fault. When women build up, they don't have a man by their side, they get into this, I can do all these things without a man. And that's cool. But then at the same time, it would look so much better and it would feel good to have a man that's doing these things and taking care of you and taking care of home as needed. Like I said, I love an alpha male. I'm sorry. He has that protective, he's courageous, he presents himself well, determined, driven, all of that stuff. So I wouldn't mind getting back to the tradition of being home, taking care of home while my dude is out doing what he needs to. And if there are men out there that's like that, for real, tell me where they at so I could tell my friends where they at. Because I'm taken. But another question was, do you see yourself as a submissive female and why? To say the least, I can say yes, I do see myself as a submissive female. Reasons being because I grew up in a home where I was influenced by watching my mother take care of my dad or taking care of home, taking care of her kids. Yeah, my mom worked, but this is years later. Her kids are now grown up. I can't really speak for when I was younger because I can't remember a lot then, but as I watched my mom work and still take care of home, and it got less strenuous for her. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though she still works till this day, that's just her decision. If it were up to my dad, he probably wouldn't even have her work. But he also respects the fact that my mom is a person that loves to take care of people. And that's another reason why I feel like, guys should respect that. Sometimes their women want to get an outlet like working, because there are really women that have a purpose in working, like, being in nursing, being in law, trying to protect the world or taking care of other people, not just being selfless. But back to me, me watching that, it makes me, want to take care of home, listen to my man, have something that I can obtain from him to where it's not controlling, where people will just be like, oh, he's always trying to talk down on you, or he's basically trying to control you, or even just me feeling like, I'm being controlled or whatever. It depends on how the guy is saying it. But submissiveness, it comes naturally for me. Now, when I feel like there's a point that, someone's trying to control the narrative or change me, then I tend to get back into this nigga mode. So honestly, the why behind me wanting to be a submissive female is because I feel like it would tend for so much growth. Being able to be in my femininity as well, it gives strength, you know what I'm saying? Like, for the simple fact that, I can be in my essence of being feminine. I can be in touch with my feelings. It gives me time to really think about me as a submissive female or a feminine female, pretty much. And I hope that answers your question. So, what does it mean to get in touch with your feminine aura to you is what this question is. Well, like I said previously, to me it means, being able to getting in touch with your feelings. You're still attractive. You have time to be that woman and be attractive. You have time to nurture and be compassionate. You have the time to take care of you. So getting in touch with your feminine aura, at the end of the day, we're all born, us women, we're born as females. So it's about how we grasp that and accept that, and how we move into the role of continuing to have our femininity. We're comfortable in our skin. We're able to be honest with our feelings, but not being too overwhelming with our feelings to where we wear things on our sleeves for days and days and days. We're able to say it then and there, just so we're not lingering on past things. And that has a lot to do with the traits that I mentioned earlier in the segment about femininity. But that draws me now, those were all the questions, but that pretty much draws me back to the scenario I gave of the woman not wanting a man who can't provide when she can provide for herself. Now, I know there are men who would not want that type of woman because he's like, what can he do for her? Because she already got it. She wants a man, but she's already making enough. So he's just like, and I'm supposed to be the protector and provider. I kind of sometimes think, though, about like Keisha Kayor. I don't know too much about their situations. Correct me if I'm wrong. Gucci got locked up. Keisha, she took that bread he made, or even if it was from her pockets, let me say, while he was locked up, and she made so much more as a woman. She pretty much held it down, and she was okay doing that while her man was down. You know what I'm saying? Everyone will say he still had money, so he still provided because it was enough in the bank. But now her protection was bodyguards and not her man. And that's just in the physical sense. But maybe she didn't complain, she was okay taking the role. So I be wanting to know, like, are there women who are by their man in situations like this? Like, if he's providing, making all this bread, and something happens, example, he loses his job, he may get sick, are you willing to take over momentarily, or are you leaving? I know there are some men that are like, oh, hell no, she not doing that. But when you have a partner, listen, Bonnie and Clyde mentality for me, okay? I'm down for you as long as you're respecting me, protecting, and providing. And life happens. If you were to lose your job, I can't say that you're the cause of it. You know, sometimes companies go down. Sometimes companies are like, you know, they have to let go a certain amount of people because they're no longer making enough money. So one of those people may be my dude. So now I got to pull the strings. And sometimes a guy might be like, nah, I don't need you doing that. But at the same time, as a woman that's living in her confidence that she gained from her man, she should be okay with taking the role momentarily. As long as your man is not getting comfortable and okay sitting down instead of trying to get back something to get back into his role, then I don't see the problem in that. But drawing back, you know, women have went through traumatic experiences as well, not just the men. You know, we've been hurt before. We don't think that, you know, there's guys that's out there for us. Like some women have the mentality that every guy is the same. For me personally, I don't have that mentality. Even though I went through a traumatic experience, I don't have that mentality. I will never sit here and say, oh, he probably just like the last nigga. I wouldn't know, you know what I'm saying? Unless I really sit here and try with this person. Honestly, but you know, don't think that's for every guy we encountered, you know, but we like a certain type of guy. I'm guilty of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to say I don't want the dorky guy, but those are the ones who stay home, honestly. That's what I peep. And, you know, coming from, you know, experience with dealing with friends who may have the same battles as I do, I guess you could say. They be like, oh, I don't like the dorky dude. He this, that. But they home, they respectable, stay on point kind of thing, you know. But, and then for me, like I said, I'm guilty of it because growing up, I'm like, oh, like, he's so corny to me. And, you know, I be one of the street niggas. So, you know, we want the thug and the thug love, but it's really not the same nowadays. You know, honestly, when I think about it, I don't know him, but at the same time, the way that he lived his life and just watching his videos, I'm talking about Nipsey Hussle. He reminds me of like the true thug love. Like, to me, these thugs nowadays, thugs, quote unquote, they beating on women as a job, or it's their nature. Like, they set a clock. Oh, 2 o'clock, I'm finna beat her ass just because. And it ain't making them no money. But I don't know, Nipsey reminds me of true thug love. You know, he was still very respectable. He was taking care of his woman. And he was able to teach her. To me, not only is that thug love, but he was living in his masculinity. At no point did she take that away from him. I can say that I definitely love that for Lauren London. I'm all over the place saying that, guys. But you guys get the message that I'm trying to give. It's so many people that have switched roles. Us women are being in this nigga mode, and most of the times it's so unbreakable that many women are now single because they've built up so much for themselves, or they probably dealt with the same type of guy. But I do want to ask the women, and not only the women, the men, like, what have you changed about yourself that will qualify you for someone to even look your way? Sometimes it's not what's on the outside, it's really what's on the inside. Like, what are you not changing about yourself that's causing for you to always bump into these same men, as you say? And for the men as well, what have you not changed that's causing you to bump into these same women that are just not marriage material? You don't see yourself proposing to them. And, you know, could that cause for men to draw back, or could that cause for now these emotional feelings of men feeling like they're not wanted? And the same goes for women. Does it make you feel like you're not wanted? Some women are like, oh, I have everything, I have all the qualities, I have all of this, that. But what do you, it's a true question men normally ask, what do you bring to the table? You can bring sex, but what else do you bring to the table as a woman? Like, are you the nurturer? Are you the provider? It's not just about, oh, I have good sex game or good head game. I got my own job, so I wouldn't need your money. Girl, that is the wrong answer. A guy loves seeing an independent woman, but when he says independent, he means independent to the point that you've learned to be in your femininity, but also courageously in your femininity. You are not seeking validation as a woman from anyone outside of your home because you already know who you are. This goes for men too. Women look at you and they're just like, oh, I already know my man. He about his shit. He living his truth and he teaches me. You know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, I feel like, aside from just traumatic experiences, I feel like a lot of reasons men and women have become switched, or they've switched roles, is because of society in a way. What they pay attention to socially. It could be a TikTok influence. It could be just, them having a friend whose mentality just changes, or they're influenced by social media, seeing other relationships and realizing like, oh, she done posted, this, that. So her relationship is tarnished. Like, I would never want that for myself. Oh, he trifling, this, that. I would never get with nobody. I don't want no man. I'm good. Because in the mind of a woman is, oh, all men are like that. Or a guy sees a woman on Facebook, and many times, I'm just going to tell you, women, and y'all really, really know this already. I just don't know what influences it. It may look good to a man, that you're out posting these certain pictures of yourself in your bathing suits. Yeah, of course, you go to the beach, you wear a bathing suit, cool, take a picture. But when you're doing it for a ratchet reason, and behind it, like, showing your ass, well, we can't see the front of the bikini. You're just showing your ass, and you turn a certain type of way. So we know what you're trying to let these men see. Men don't like that, really, honestly, because at the end of the day, if he were to choose you as his woman, are you going to, be respectable about what you post on social media? Of course, look beautiful, but you can also look beautiful with clothes. Be behind closed doors doing all that stuff for your man. And when the occasion calls for it, of course, be in your bathing suit, but be respectable on the type of pictures you take. And that goes for men too. Some men be out here, y'all know what y'all be doing. When them women be talking about them gray sweatpants and stuff, y'all be out here trying to flaunt in gray sweatpants and now all these tidy whities to try to show package and shit. And then next thing you know, the woman gets with you and finds out that you had a whole big sock in your drawers. Let me stop playing, y'all. But as we're getting closer to ending this, I do want to hear, your opinions, your feedback. Like I said, this segment, it's so much to talk about, and it's, it goes this way and it goes that way, and it's just like whatever's on my mind, I'm just going to say it. So it may sound like a whole puzzle, but when you put it all together, all I'm saying is, men, we want for you to live in your masculinity. It's, as I said, it's not controlling. It's not, beating somebody down, but being respectful. You value yourself as a man. You take charge. But when you take charge, remember that you don't have to say, you're gonna do this because I said so kind of mentality. And women, for us to get out of our nigga mode, we have to start realizing that self-care for us is a feminine thing. So when we do these kinds of things, and men can do it too, meditate. Think about the things that makes a man not be attracted to you or not want to talk to you. Because honestly, I don't listen to the whole body image thing nowadays. Because let's be real, these men love a bigger woman. You know what I'm saying? They can still love they slim, thick chicks or whatever they are, but the hidden truth behind it, let's remember a couple years back, men were like, oh, nah, I can't deal with no fat girl, this, that. But then fat became thick. Thick became juicy, and juicy became you're in his bed and probably married to him now. But overall, I do know that a man loves a woman in her femininity and knows who she is. A woman loves a guy that can lead, protect, and provide. And he's confident to come right out and say it. So sometimes what we may think as cocky, and we can tell the difference. If a man's coming to you like, oh, I know I look good, shorty, I could grab you any day. Back the fuck up. Because if you're not telling me your purpose or living in your purpose, that's not enough for me. A man who comes and says, I will take care of you, I will respect you, I will this, that. Some women are like, yeah, he full of shit even when he say that because I had a guy who did this. Well, understand, ladies, that's not the same guy. Who you dealt with before was Tyler. Tyler may have said that you dealt with Tyler and Tyler was full of shit. We as women trust our instincts, so we should be able to weed out the bullshit. If another guy named Reggie comes to you and he's saying the same thing Tyler says, but this time Reggie is so fucking serious and you lost out on an opportunity because you were in the past thinking about what Tyler did. Like I said, the women traits of femininity, you're not lingering in the past. You're living in the present moment. So understand that Tyler is no longer a factor. Don't miss your shot with Reggie because you're living in this traumatic experience of what Tyler did. Trust yourself. Trust your intuition. It's your guide at any given time. If a man's telling you what he can bring to the table for you, let him wine and dine you in that moment. And men, all I can say for you is allow a woman to be a woman without you trying to mirror that woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't need you to be one of our girlfriends. We really don't. We have those outlets. We need for you to be like, babe, it's okay. Let me educate you on this. Because at that point, you know you. You're honest to a fault. You're driven and you're determined. But that also means you're dependable and you're generous, but in a way that is showing character of masculinity. I love this topic, but I mean, we're always going to touch back on things like this because the questions, the comments, they're all going to come in. But we're going to end it here, guys. I do thank you to all my listeners. As I'm going up in numbers, I can see the numbers going up. Thank you for those who have contacted me on different social medias to let me know, hey, I feel like you should talk about this. Some people have hit me up for shout outs. And as I said, my segments are not just about me talking about just this. We're going to have people on here with businesses that I would definitely love to give the opportunity to shout themselves out because I'm the type of person and I want to see everybody win because there's enough food, there's enough money, recycled money at that, that's just revolving in this world for everyone to eat. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. And being that it's from the bottom of my heart, that's why I can say y'all are my besties now. But like I said, if you guys ever want me to shout you out, you have a song you would like for me to play, if it's your song, we can play it as long as you give me the go ahead to do so. If you got a birthday coming up, you got an event you want people to know about that's in your city, I will be there to shout you out. Thank you for tuning in to this session of We Switchin' Roles Now. This is episode 3. You guys have a good one, and stay tuned for the surprise because we got more for you. See you soon.